Welcome back. The Town Planning Board today kicked off a round of controversial discussions on the future of the former Lee Wai Lee campus site in Kowloon Tong. But while under intense pressure, the government dropped plans to rezone part of the land as a residential site. And new plans to have a special education school built there are facing increasing opposition. Joelle De Silva reports.
Just as inside, the Town Planning Board started a 6-day discussion on what will become of the former Lee Wai Lee campus. Outside, dozens of Baptist University students and members of staff staged a protest. The Kowloon Tong site has been at the center of a protracted controversy involving the government and the university. Until recently, the government wanted the southern part of the site rezoned for private residential development. But the Baptist University wants to use the site, which is right next to its campus, to build a Chinese medicine teaching hospital.
I think we are helping the government not to make a mistake. If this place actually become a luxury apartment, it would become a stigma for Hong Kong. In the Hong Kong history, everybody would point to that building, will say that we made a very big mistake at that time.
Last month, Secretary for Development Paul Chen announced that the government no longer wants to rezone the site and wants to build special education facilities there instead. That's after the Town Planning Board received numerous opinions objecting to the initial plan for residential development. But while the university is glad those plans were scrapped, the controversy is far from over. Hanging on this artificial tree behind me are messages from Baptist University students and professors reminding the government that even though it has given up on its rezoning plans, their struggle goes on. The messages will be collected by the Town Planning Board for consideration. The university's president says while there are other places where schools for students with special needs can be built, that is the only site adjacent to the university that can be used to expand its campus in an efficient manner. But in a sign that the government may have other plans, back in January, Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying announced in his policy address that a site in Cheung Kwan O, originally earmarked for a private hospital, will be reserved to set up a Chinese medicine hospital. Joelle De Silva, TVB News.
Property owners and politicians have formed an alliance against dishonest contractors involved in bid rigging related to old building repair works. As Vicky Kung reports, the alliance plans to hold a demonstration in Central this weekend.
The Labour Party, the Democratic Party and property owners from 9 different housing estates set up an alliance against bid rigging related to old building repair works. Mrs. Chow owns an apartment in Sha Tin. She was charged $300,000 for repair works at her housing estate. Chow thinks such a charge is unreasonably high. The Democratic Party believes some contractors may be working in collusion with consultant agencies and even property management companies to fix prices.
The bid rigging problem in Hong Kong nowadays is very serious and common. The syndicates mark up the maintenance fee up to 200% in the expense of the property owner's interest.
The party urged the government to publicize market prices for property maintenance services. It's also calling for a change in laws overseeing owners' corporations. Under the Building Management Ordinance, a private housing estate can pass a decision that affects all residents even if only 10% of the property owners are present at the meeting.
There may not be any magic numbers to see, which ratio is good, but at least the government should have some way to increase the difficulties when the owners' meetings has to pass the resolutions to buy everybody to do the overall maintenance projects.
The newly formed alliance is going to hold a demonstration in Central this Sunday starting at 2:30 p.m. Protesters will walk all the way from Chater Garden to the central government office here to submit a complaint letter. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
A businessman who was jailed earlier in absentia for money laundering has had more than $30 million in assets confiscated. Jenny Lam has more details.
Businessman Choi Chit-chang jumped bail earlier and was tried in absentia at the district court. He was convicted of 2 counts of money laundering in a series of transactions amounting to almost $1 billion. The transactions involved his relatives and a large number of bank accounts. Choi was earlier sentenced to 7 years in prison, and the court today approved the prosecution's application to confiscate more than $33 million in assets under his control. His sister and brother-in-law were both sentenced earlier to 5 years and 4 months in prison and had $9 million in assets confiscated. Choi's mother and wife were acquitted of their charges. The court heard that between 2004 and 2009, the family laundered the funds through 5 shell companies and 28 bank accounts. The money was sent to the mainland and overseas. Police found a large amount of cash at their home during the investigation. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
The former chief editor of the Ming Pao newspaper, Kevin Lau, recalls the chopping attack on him last month in a newspaper article published today. He believes the assailant did not mean to spare his life. Jenny Lam again.
Kevin Lau talks about the attack publicly for the first time. In a short article published on the Ming Pao website, he recalls how he phoned the police when he was covered in multiple chop wounds. He says he felt weak in his legs and pain in his back, but was fully conscious on arrival at hospital. Doctors told him that they didn't believe the attacker was trying to take his life because there was no damage to the major organs. He believes he survived not at the mercy of his attacker, but simply that the knife blade just happened to stop near the organs. 3 days after the attack, his upper body was already improving and he could leave the intensive care unit. His surgeons told him that the knife was so sharp that it sliced off part of his sternum and slid across his lower back. He received 10 bags of blood during surgery and he thanked the blood donors. Kevin Lau was attacked in broad daylight on a street in Saiwan Ho late last month. There was speculation about whether the incident was linked to sensitive articles published by the Ming Pao. Police have not made any arrests in connection with the crime. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
The government today asked LegCo for funding to extend a temporary position at RTHK. Officials explained this is due to the failure to obtain funding for the station's new headquarters. Evelina Lung reports.
The construction of RTHK's new headquarters has been put on hold after the government withdrew its funding application earlier this year. This was after pro-establishment lawmakers maintained their opposition to the proposal. RTHK now says the temporary post of Deputy Director of Broadcasting Development would have to be extended 5 years because of the construction delay. Lawmakers had their doubts.
I don't know why this post shouldn't be taken up by a technocrat with the suitable expertise. In terms of the scope of duties set out, I really think that the post should be taken up by a civil servant with a suitable professional background.
The post is supposed to oversee the construction of BH. I think you have done it the other way around. The paper has been withdrawn and yet you want to extend the post.
The Permanent Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development maintained an administrative officer is more suitable for this post as it requires communicating with other government departments, not simply engineering knowledge. Without answering why the temporary post has to be extended, Susie Ho pointed out RTHK will look at ways to lower construction costs before presenting a new funding proposal in around 2 years' time. Evelina Lang, TVB News.
All right, Chris, what do you have for us today?
I believe it's rugby. Okay. Let's have a look. England scored a decisive victory over Wales last night, keeping their hopes alive in the Six Nations Championship.
And finally, a priceless painting by the Italian Baroque master Caravaggio will be on display at the Asia Society Hong Kong Center in Admiralty from Wednesday until April 13th. The Supper at Emmaus is on loan from the Brera Fine Arts Academy in Milan. Painted in 1606, it shows Jesus after the resurrection when he met with 2 of his disciples in the town of Emmaus. It is the latter of one of 2 paintings by Caravaggio on the same theme. The other one, painted 5 years earlier, is at the National Gallery in London. Art critics say the version to be on display here in Hong Kong shows the figures in a more restrained manner, possibly reflecting the painter's own difficulties in life at the time. Admission is free and tickets can be obtained from the counter at Pacific Place. And that is a wrap of our news.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was cloudy with a few rain patches. It was rather cool. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the northeast monsoon is affecting the South China coast. Today's temperatures range from 13.9 to 15.6 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 75 to 86%. Moderate to fresh easterly winds. The current temperature is now 14 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 82%. The strong monsoon signal is now in force. A trace of rainfall has been recorded since midnight. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be cloudy with 1 or 2 rain patches tonight, rather cool tomorrow morning. Temperatures will range between 14 and 17 degrees. Temperatures will rise gradually in the next couple of days, becoming cool again in the latter part of the week. Tomorrow's air quality health index is forecast at low to moderate. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 4. And here's the latest global weather update. Sunny in Shanghai, showers in Taipei and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou, showers in Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Cloudy in Beijing, sunny in Tokyo. Bright in Bangkok, sunny in Ho Chi Minh City, bright in Manila. Bright in Kuala Lumpur, sunny in Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Thunderstorms in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi and Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Showers in Brisbane, sunny in Sydney, rain in Melbourne. Snow in Toronto. Showers in Vancouver, rain in San Francisco. Cloudy in London, sunny in Paris, Amsterdam and Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.